Welcome everyone to the 31st episode of the Boss Key podcast. I'm your co-host McQuack306 and joined this week, as always, the fighting champion, Jimmy
Ooh,
G.
yes.
What's up, Jesse?
The Bosky Podcast. Yeah. I'm good, Big Josh. How are you? This is Jesse, Jimmy G. How's everyone doing this morning? How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Missed you last week. We had a great episode.
No, I know. I was in Utah, everybody. It was my best friend's bachelor party weekend. So we were snowboarding in Utah, but for goodness sake, I definitely did have my Switch on me when I was over there. And I needed to throw in the gaming action every time. But yes, Bud's getting married. Awesome. Celebration happened. Lots of snowboarding. Came back in one piece. So I'm thankful for that every single day. We good to go.
Awesome, man. So you said you brought your Switch over. What were you playing, if
Ooh.
anything?
So I did. I brought. I actually was using it during. I was using it mostly during the plane and layovers. Not long layovers, not long flight. California, Utah is pretty close. It was just like the layovers that took a while. But I did bring a couple games, but I always just ended up picking one. But I actually ended up playing mostly. I went back to the Mega Man X series, Mega Man X3, because it was like one that I've never fully beaten compared to 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to my Legacy collection, and Mega Man X3 was the one I was trying to beat mostly. I always do this. I always bring like a couple things, but I always usually stick to one.
Yeah.
So like I always want to bring options. That's how I pack for everything too. I'm the overpacker. I would pack like a couple of items, like maybe a couple books or a couple games or a couple like soundtracks. But I would usually just stick to one. But I needed my Mega Man fix. I don't know why. I keep going back to Legacy Collection. It's a great collection. All the 4 games in one, 4 games in the other. But Legacy Collection 1 has the best games, 1 through 4 of Mega Man X. So I was just trying to beat Mega Man. I was trying to beat Mega Man X3 during the trip.
Okay. Did you get far?
I got around to 4 Mavericks, and then I had to 4 Mavericks beaten. So then I just that was like as far as I went before not enough layovers, and then I didn't jump back into Mega Man X3 again because guess what I bought? I bought something harder than that. I finally jumped into Elden Ring. I didn't want to get it before because I wasn't gonna be home, so it's like no reason to ship it to my house if I'm not home.
Yeah.
So I got it after I came back. I missed the steel bookcase though. I called all the Best Buys and didn't have it anymore.
Damn.
So I missed it. And then after that, my girlfriend told me that she was fine with it like being sent to her house. I was like, why didn't I take advantage of that? Idiot. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I have Elden Ring. It's all good.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm playing too. But how are you like handling it? Is this your first Souls game, and how are you feeling about Elden Ring so far?
Yes, it is my first Souls game that I've continued to play. I've already bought on sale Dark Souls 1 remastered, but it's part of the backlog. I didn't end up continuing to play it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I thought of Elden Ring as like the hottest thing going on right now. This is the Souls game you want to play right now.
Yeah.
Wow. All I'm going to say is wow. Well, number one, character creation and everything. That's why I put that thing on Twitter asking people, hey, what did everyone pick? I know I'm usually knight type person. I was considering between Hero and Vagabond.
Okay.
I was considering between those two, so I went with Vagabond because I usually get like the knight type characters. And then I found it hilarious. Tarnish is just naked dude, like naked person with like nothing, but all their stats were like perfect, like 10s all around. I was like, huh? Like it's a well balanced character with no armor, no nothing. And I was like, oh, all right.
Well, if you see that compared to the other ones are also like some of the stats are like at 15, 18
Oh
to
yeah.
kind of balance out. Tarnish is really good because you start out balanced, so
Yeah.
you can just start, and
However you want.
I think he's also lower level.
Yeah,
So
I think he's like more. I think, oh man, not off the top of my head, but I think like level 1, he's like the starting level still. Like he's like beginning, somewhere in
yeah,
the beginning.
so that's like the best way of like for mostly usually for veteran players who've already beaten the game. they know what stats they want to build, and so they don't want to pick a character that already has stats in, let's say, like intellect, when all they want is all their stats on strength or something like that.
Oh, got it. So like
Mm.
after you beat the game,
I mean,
whenever the
I
heck
mean,
that
you could
is,
do it
yeah.
at the beginning, for those people that like really want to, try something.
Oh my God, good luck. And
Hmm.
like good luck to that if you tried. Um, so so yeah, okay, good thing I didn't pick Tarnished then, because I'm not super adverse to it. So good thing I picked the Vega Bound. Um, the beginning, everything started about the Elden Ring and everyone's desire when you travel into the lands. And just like my mini excursion into Dark Souls 1 remaster, you face something huge the first thing. I was like, oh, here we go. I was already thinking like, oh my God, it's already like the biggest thing. Well, maybe my controls are good enough. First, Goma was pretty big back in Zelda days. Like
Goma.
like Goma was kind of big. I'm going back in time to Zelda, and then of course, 1, 2, 3. I was like dead. I was like, oh my God, is this really gonna be how it be the whole time? I was waiting for like the "you are dead" thing, which happens later on.
Mhm.
Um, but no, it went to a cutscene. It's like, was I supposed to die here? Like I was like, is this one of those like Mega Man X1 where you can't beat that first boss? You can't beat Vile? Like is that what is that supposed
Yeah.
to be? But then according to you, you said that you could beat it if you could, right?
Yeah, I mean that's typical Souls game where they give you like the tutorial boss, and you can beat the tutorial boss on the first try. But very difficult for newcomers to beat them. But I didn't beat this one. I didn't beat it in my first try. I got
Ooh.
him to like, I think I only took out like 35%, 40% of his health, and then he got me. But that's typical Souls game.
Okay.
Tutorial boss. You're gonna learn how to die. You're gonna learn that taste of defeat early on.
Oh
So
my God. Question: do you have to read every single message that's there, or can you just bypass like all? Because there's a lot of messages all over the place.
those messages are from other players as well. Those
Oh, okay,
those
okay.
those messages players sometimes like to, and
Mhm.
that's the thing with the Souls games. A lot of them could be helpful, where they'll give you a warning, like,
Okay.
hey, ambush, uh, fight one by one or something like that, or be
Oh.
wary of traitor, something like that. But
Oh.
then you also have to watch out for the lies. Sometimes players like to troll each other, especially the newcomers,
Oh,
and they'll
that's
be like,
true.
it'll say like, see cliff, try jumping. And a lot of players will try to jump the cliff thinking something's gonna happen, and nope. And sometimes it's true, and there's like a ledge underneath, and it's a secret ledge that you only know if you jumped.
Yeah. Oh, you
So
control people too. Oh
yes,
man.
dude.
Oh man. So
The
you could
Souls
be.
games are
You could
just
be.
trolls. Like
You could be.
it's just trolling the player. Like you think you're getting help and stuff like that, but it really is just a troll.
What's the ratio of helpful people to hurtful people?
I'd say like 10% are helpful, and then and then
90%.
and
Oh.
then you'll get like the jokes. You'll get like I don't remember the new one, but it's like it says something like use finger, try
Mhm.
butthole or something like that, and it's just like
Wow.
everywhere, and you're like what, because of the word combination that you can use. Um,
Okay.
so that's like the new like troll meme going around, but
Nice.
it's a difficult game. It's a brutal game. Uh,
Yep. Facing
I love
my
these games.
facing my first mounted enemy was like insane. I can't. I'm too low. Is there a certain level that I have to be to fight a mounted enemy, or is there just a strategy that I need to
Okay,
fight a
so
mounted enemy?
with this, you can beat any boss at any level.
Okay, so it is
It,
possible.
it's all strategy, and a lot of players like
Okay.
to, like you said, use the tarnished one, and they
Mhm.
can go through the entire game like that because they
Wow.
just want to have that's the thing about Souls game, is that you play how you want to play. You can
That's skill, man.
you
That's
can
skill.
just grind and level up and be level 90 and then fight the first boss. Or you can just, level up certain stats and then fight them. You can summon spirits, which you'll have access to later. You can summon NPCs in front of bosses, as well as summon other players to help you out.
That is correct. They're saying that other players were able to assist you.
Yeah.
I remember that during the tutorial read.
Yeah, against big bosses, but then also you're open to being invaded by other players. Other players can invade your world to try to kill you. Okay, you guys can't see this, but Jesse has like this face of like shock.
What? Whoa! So not only can they be trolls, but they can. I'm not gonna say ruin because you signed up for this when you're playing this game, but they can kill you for no reason.
Mm-hmm. For just, hey, you're about to fight the boss, but little did you know that I'm the first boss you have to fight, and it's an actual other player.
Oh, good, nice, okay, fine. See how it is. I'll see how it is. All right, I see how it is. I can't wait to continue on this Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Now I can't. Now, ooh, people don't kill me, please. I'm learning.
It's such a unique game, and I think out of all the Souls games, this is the most accessible to newcomers, I believe. All the other ones are very brutal. They hardly tell you or even give you extra stuff to help you with. This one you have spirits from an early point in the game. Then there's just more checkpoints as opposed to before. Imagine playing.
There are a lot of checkpoints. True that.
Yeah.
No, I think yeah.
Those grace points in other games were like bonfires, and sometimes you find a bonfire, you're like, okay, cool, checkpoint, and you can play like 30 minutes and not find another bonfire and die.
No, 30 minutes gone.
Yeah, dude, it's happened to me. I've been there where like, okay, I'm going to go through this castle. I have a bonfire outside the castle. Go into the castle or go through some sewers, get to a castle, and then just get bombarded by enemies, and there's no bonfire left. I'm like,
bruh, there's nothing here to save you. Oh my god, dude. Okay, you're right.
You're loving it.
I'm loving it. I am loving it. It is like the controls are very, very good, a lot responsive, but they're like clunky for a reason. Like your sword swings and stuff, more of a realistic feel to sword swings, not like Devil May Cry hacking, slashing, where everyone's like, or Dynasty Warriors, where you're taking on like armies at once and you're able to super fast slash everything. It looks like you could take on 1,000,000 to 1. No, this is like your knight or warrior or any other class that you pick, and you're fighting with a heavy sword. They put the weight into the sword. Like it's like the real weight of the sword when you're doing your swings. You even have I believe that very bottom bar from the bar tells you how many times you can swing, right? Like when it fills up, you can't swing anymore. It's like oof, oof,
it's the stamina bar.
There you go, like the stamina tiers, which is real. That's very realistic. Like, dude, you were not meant to hyper fast slash everything. Like, and I'll tell you, one of the moments that I had was blocking with the shield and then doing that quick attack right afterwards.
Oh yeah,
like, ting. When I first did that, it was and like, oh my god.
And you can also parry, and it feels so good to parry.
I haven't done the parry yet. I've seen the parry function, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you can parry, and then you'll hear that noise like, phew. Like it almost sounds like they're going in slow motion. And if you just press the right trigger or the R1, your character like does like a riposte, like just stabs them, like depending on the enemy, stabs them in the chest, and it's a pretty cool and satisfying feeling to do that. But also you can backstab. So like in this game, that's different from the other Souls games. I think except for Sekiro, you can actually like crouch. And you can kind of like crouch walk and go behind an enemy and backstab them for like double damage.
Ooh, Okay, nice. I'll be learning all this stuff more and more as I play, and I cannot wait to take down my first mounted unit 'cause I hate anything on a horse.
That tree
Oh,
sentinel.
that was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, okay, okay, maybe this is another boss that maybe they'll make it take. And it's so big and like imposing, and then nope, tree sentinel. So tree sentinel killed me right away, and this time it said you are dead. This time it said like you died. So I was like, okay, okay, we're back in the game now. We're for real. Like we're playing. So then as it's coming forward towards me again, I was like, nope, 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 nope. I just went to the right. I was like, nope. And then I found some like regular like foot soldiers, and then I killed the foot soldiers. I'm like, yes, good. Not everything is a death trap. Not every
Yeah, and
single
not
person
everything
is
is a
a.
boss.
Not everything is a dang boss character. This ain't no Cuphead. Like this ain't the Cuphead where it's mostly just bosses. There's some fodder that I can kill. But then I tried another, not a tree sentinel, but another mounted unit. Dude, horse mounted units are tough.
Yeah.
Anything on which obviously, in real life, if you're on a horse, you have the tactical advantage. You have the high ground. So obviously you're gonna be lost in it. But now answer me this: can you knock them off the horse, or do you have to kill them the whole time while they're on their horse?
The boss, I think, sticks to his horse, and I think other ones may be able to get off the horse if you
Okay.
damage it as well. But remember, you'll also get your own horse.
Well, there you go.
You probably
Now that
should.
would be
I think
sweet.
you should already have access to it. You get the
Hmm.
the horse
I met
by the
my I
third.
met my maiden. I met the maiden, and I got
Oh,
torrent.
okay, there you go.
So I haven't activated torrent yet, but I
Use
got torrent.
use him.
Use torrent.
Use him.
Ooh, okay.
And then
I'm gonna.
also I just learned this yesterday after fighting a dragon
Mhm.
with on horseback that when you're on the horse, when you're on torrent, you can
Yeah.
actually press the R1 to
Mhm.
attack to your right or press L1 to attack to your left. So I
Ooh.
didn't know that, and I fought the whole boss just trying to fight him on my right side. And then
Wow.
my buddy told me, "Oh no, you got it. You could do L1 also." And I'm like,
Just,
"Oh my
just,
god!"
just saying, you have a whole hand right here to do this side.
You know that scene? I don't know if you've seen Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King.
I have seen it, but it's been a while. But I did see that movie.
That scene where the girl is on horseback and then like she's like attacking the huge elephants and takes down the.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
That's how I felt fighting the dragon on torrent. It was
Ooh.
a cool battle, dude. I can't wait for you to experience your own like
Yes.
stories because I think each battle is your own story. You get to it's like, oh yeah, I did this and he
It,
swung and I barely dodged and I backstabbed him. Like there's so many good moments in your own
yeah.
game
And it's
play.
and it's one of the most shared things on any gaming system right now.
Yeah,
It's dude, people share their like victories of these huge bosses or anything, and even if it's like a smaller boss or like a bigger boss in Elden Ring, dude, everyone's sharing like I did it. And, like I got like the big accomplishment, which is awesome. That's a nice community there. Even though you said it was like still more trolls than than good people, but there's good people
but
out there.
even the
Yeah, I
trolls are
love it.
good. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's just that you
It's just
can't
funny.
blame somebody. You can't blame somebody
Yeah.
for. I mean, I did that a lot. Back in Dark Souls 1 and 2, specifically there was like an area where, in order to get the platinum, because I've gotten the platinum trophy in Dark Souls 1 and 2, and I'm only missing one trophy for in Bloodborne, and
Mm,
there's like a magic um, spell that you
mm.
can you can cast on yourself, and you can change how the character looks like, and you'll change yourself into a pot or into a chair, a table, whatever is in that area. You turn yourself in, and so uh, I invaded somebody, and
Wow.
I turned myself into a pot. They don't know where I'm at, but when you invade someone, the player is also notified. Hey, you're being invaded.
Okay, so you always get a heads up when someone's
Yeah,
coming in.
you get a heads
Okay.
up. You may not know where they're at, but you get a heads up like, "Hey, dude, you're getting invaded." And so when
You
that
go.
happens, your
Yeah.
your senses are heightened. You're like, "Where you at? Where you at?"
What are
And
you
so
doing?
This dude, I remember he was looking around everywhere and could not
Mm-hmm.
see me, and I could see him because like I got transformed into like a chair,
Yeah.
and then when I move, the chair moves also, so the player would probably freak out with it.
Oh. Yeah.
But the player, I think I was right next to a chest, and so the player
Mm.
opened the chest, and I went right behind him and just backstabbed him with this huge sword and just killed him.
Oh. You thought you had something great, did you? That's what
Yeah,
you're thinking. You're like,
and then I just
oh.
did the emote of just my waving hand goodbye, and so it's just fun. You'll get there. You'll be invaded. You may be the one invading someone, depending
Ooh.
on what item you need. So
Yep.
it's really cool. I think it's a great series, and I'm happy that this game is more accessible to more players because that just means that the community grows, and then
Mm-hmm.
possibly you say, hey, I love Elden Ring. I finally beat it. It took me X amount of hours and I died X amount of times, but I want to play the other ones. What's another one? And you may go back to Dark Souls and be like, oh, this is so much easier because I know what to expect now.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I think you need that firsthand experience to be able to. You need that firsthand experience, so every other game afterwards will be like, well, it won't be a piece of cake, but
Yeah.
you're familiarized now, and now it will not seem as daunting as opposed to just playing Dark Souls first. And a lot of people got scared off, at least I heard, from playing the old Dark Souls games, Dark Souls 1 and 2. But you know what? Not that many people got scared of Dark Souls 1 because obviously it made a whole bunch of sequels.
Yeah.
And actually sequels and everything were made. So obviously, yes, it was a success in one way or another. And sometimes the difficulty of a game makes it the game. Like sometimes instead of just the fun factor or the graphics factor or anything else, sometimes this game is so hard. Like it's really difficult.
Yeah.
People will jump in just to figure out if it is that difficult or not,
Yeah.
and people will jump in.
And for you, do you see yourself like for difficulty of games? Is that something that attracts you? Like if someone says, "Hey, dude, like 5% of people can don't even get whatever they 95% of the people who play this game they can't get past the first boss." Is that something that attracts you, or are you more kind of like depending on the game, or what? How do you feel about difficulty in games and like your way on how you tackle it?
Good man. Like I'm for me personally, difficulty in a game for me just means more challenge and more fun. Like in video games, I prefer things to be more difficult because then like my mind is actually getting stimulated or something's happening in a game that's making me like at least work for a little bit. Um, like every time I'm playing a first person shooter, I usually always start on the more difficult difficulty. It doesn't always have to be like that top hard one. It doesn't have to be like I'll use like a Doom example, like Watch Me Die. Like that's like the hardest one.
Yeah.
But like anything that's like right before it or something. So a good example from Doom is like a difficulty called like ultraviolet.
Hmm.
So it's harder than normal, but it's also not impossibly hard. I just you need difficulty in game for it to be fun, I think. Now, everyone has different interpretations of how they have fun with a game.
Yeah.
If you want the easy street, like more like easy going game, maybe you had a hard day at work and then you really don't want to have more work at home. Does
Hmm.
that like make sense? Like
Yeah.
you don't want more work at home, so do you want something that's easier, that's fun, puzzle game or easier platformer, it's fine. Like go for it. But for me, the challenge is my relaxing moment. The challenge is what gives me the most fun of any game that I'm playing. Now there are games that are way harder than need to be. Um, and then sometimes those games do turn me off when it's excessively hard. When it's like when I've died 10,000 times the same game. But um, if it still stays fun, then I accept the challenge every day. I think it's the funnest thing in the world. to have the most challenge. But that's just me personally. Do you feel like the same way, or do you want it a little easier? What do you think?
For me, I think the way I've always tackled the games is I've always tackled it without changing the the settings, without changing the difficulty. At least in the first run,
Mm-hmm.
I'll play the Call of Duty stories in normal. I'll play Doom on normal.
Yeah.
I'll play everything on normal. And if it's something
Mm-hmm.
that I really love, then
Hard.
I'll go hard. I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try something more challenging.
There we go.
Let me see what I can do and possibly make this a little bit better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one series that I do change the settings to higher difficulty are Metal Gear games because I want that
Nice.
challenge. I want you know that sense of the soldiers aren't that stupid. If it or their sight is actually a lot further out, so I have to be
It's a bigger cone. There
yeah.
you go.
So I have to be very careful, and I like that because the gameplay is stealth. If it's
Mm-hmm.
easy, it's kind of like if I played a stealth game where I'm invisible,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't really become a stealth game
No, you're
because
just
it's
walking around.
yeah, I'm just walking around and no one can see me. But if it's
Yeah.
something where if I just barely move and they're like, "Hey, what's that?" It's like, "Damn,
Oh.
I really gotta figure out. I can't walk through these branches because they'll make higher noise, or I have to crawl my
Yeah.
way through, and then get really close, and then whatever it is." So those games, it depends on the challenge or the gameplay. Uh, Dark Souls, I love how it is, just as
Yep.
is, in terms of there's no difficulty slider, there's no easy mode, there's no hard mode. It's just you play and
Nice.
you learn, just like
Yep.
other games. Monster Hunter, there's
Mm-hmm.
really no easy mode or hard mode.
Yeah.
It's
You just go
skills.
with what it
It's
is.
basically skill based. Same like you. I think you mentioned like Cuphead. We'll mention
Yep.
other games as well, but many of those are difficult because they're skill based. You need to
Yeah.
learn and adapt to the boss or the environment and the regular
Mm-hmm.
enemies and then react to it. And it's just one of those I feel very satisfying when I could go and die 20 times and I kill that boss just once and it's like the greatest victory.
Yep.
You're like I beat him. Even though he beat me 20 times, I feel like I ultimately won because I beat him. And I don't think you get the same satisfaction if it was cheesed or easier. Like
Yeah.
I think if you're playing Cuphead and you have unlimited health,
Oh,
then
why?
you kind of don't you lose that responsiveness. Oh, I got hit
Mm,
again, but I don't get hurt. Oh, I got hit
yep.
again. You
Mm.
can just stay in one spot and just keep shooting, and yeah, you'll eventually kill the boss. But there's no,
There's no sense of
there's no
danger.
thinking, there's no reaction, there's
Yeah.
no like, oh, I better not die, I better not get hit. It's you lose that. So
Hey, that to me is a snooze fest. Like for when I say like if you could just plow through like the game. I had a similar experience with Diablo 3
mhm.
where during the grind you could still grind and you could still die and everything, but I switched then Diablo 3 to hardcore mode and oh my goodness, like the challenge factor just started heart pumping. Because for those who don't know, if they don't play Diablo,
Mhm.
in Diablo, when you normally die, you lose the items that you have on you, and you have to go get your body back. In hardcore mode, you have one life. You die, you die. You will not come back. So, and then you also have to factor in if you're playing like online, you have to factor lag, you have to factor bandwidth, you have to factor, oh my gosh, I'm trapped in a room. Oh no, it froze, but the game's still going on, but it froze. Like the game is still moving. Your computer's too slow, and then you're dead. And then when you throw that in there, especially when you have a high level character, there is no bigger gut punch in the world than dying in hardcore mode, and you have like a level 70 something character, and like you're going you have the biggest heartache in the world when it happens. But maybe I'm crazy because I like it like that better for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I just want it to be harder. I want it to be like a sense of danger, like something to happen. Like I that's why to me difficulty is the funnest thing in the world.
Hmm.
It's the way I enjoy my games a lot.
Yeah.
Um and like a lot of games that came out in the early 90s and the earlier times, man, there was some hard games because you had to beat it all in like one sitting. Or if you got to the continue screen, sometimes it takes you all the way back to the beginning of the game. You got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Um,
What were the most difficult games that you remember playing from that time? Because I
oh,
remember a bunch of them, and a lot of them just tested my sanity as a kid. Of like, is this worth it? I could be playing Zelda, but I'm here playing this.
oh my God. I'll tell you what, man. The Contra series back then, before save states and
Contra
everything, dude, that
without
was
the Konami code.
without the. Oh, no, I always played it with the Konami code,
Even
man. There
with
was
the
no reason
Konami
why,
code.
dude. Even with the Konami code, it's hard, man. 30 lives. You have to play with the Konami code. With 3 lives, I'm gonna call you like the god of gaming if you can beat the Contra with just the initial lives. Um, and in Contra 3, that's my favorite one. I mentioned that before in the series in a past like boss pick. Um, in a past boss pick, I mentioned Contra 3. It's my favorite of the series, the Alien
Yeah.
Wars. That one, there is no Konami code. You have to set it up to I always set it up to the maximum lives, 7 lives, like seven extra lives in that game. Um, and all the bosses, you die in one hit. That's why it's so hard. Everything that touches you, one hit, you're dead. There's no health bar here. It's a love tap in your gun, like a love tap from any tentacle or any mechanical thing or any bullet, you're dead. So, and that game, no, there's no continuous service or nothing. It's beginning to end. It's not a super long game, but it's a super hard game.
Yeah, I think they didn't have to make them long because they
It's
knew
so
if
hard.
yeah, if we make it super hard and difficult, they're not gonna even get to the final level, the final stages.
Yeah, they're not going to get to that final boss, the big gigantic brain with the different spheres, which is also dang hard. So if you already didn't have the 7 lives, or if you're down to your last continue there, good luck.
Like
It's gonna be
I remember though at that time, a game that was like very similar to that where I don't even remember seeing the third area. Was Ghouls and Ghosts. That thing,
Ghosts and Goblins.
yeah. Well, those
Yeah.
that series,
Oh, that's right.
it's just so difficult that you can die like in 2 hits, and there's
Ah.
hardly any health, and your jumps have to be precise
Yeah, because
because
you didn't have any midair control.
yeah.
You're basically, if you made a jump, you committed to that jump. you chose this. It's like, I know we say you chose this whenever you sign something like you're to something hard or something, but
Yeah,
this one, even in your jumps, you chose to do that. So be prepared to live with whatever consequences happening.
because you jump and like if you got hit by a bat, oh well, like you
Oh,
couldn't move it, and then the knockback was just so brutal.
well, at least in that game, you got 2 hits. you get you get the armor off the first time, and then the second time, a skeleton. Oh God, dude, I'm same with you. I've just seen more people play it, and dude, they're godly, or they have this highly memorized. But me personally, got to the third level, and I couldn't get past it either.
It's
It's
weird because
hard,
I love those games
dude.
just because of the aesthetics and like the music.
Mhm.
But those are just too brutal. I don't think. I think I've put it already in my mindset that I'm never gonna beat one of those. It's just too brutal.
You know what? As much as I enjoy difficulty, as much as I talked about it before, that I enjoy difficulty, which I do,
Yeah.
But if it's gonna take me 50 hours just to learn how to play this, and right now, okay, 10-year-old Jesse has time to do this. 34-year-old Jesse with job, girlfriend, responsibilities, like, dude, no, I can't do this. I'm not gonna try to beat it. I'm not gonna try to beat the whole thing in a single sitting. Now you have save states, I guess, to like beat it.
Yeah.
To beat, so it'll be a little easier to beat it. But sometimes, like, do I really want to chip at it every single day until like I beat it? That depends on you. You know what? If you're trying to collect achievements or you're trying to do something, okay, then do it. Then there's a goal to it. But if it's just to beat the game, man, I don't know. I don't see it as like something that I'm like trying to put on my top. This is okay to stay in my backlog list. This can stay there. This can stay in backlog purgatory if it wants. I'm not gonna spend so much time to just do that and then nothing happens. Because you also have to have fun in the difficulty of the game.
Yeah.
So if you're having fun with it too, then the difficulty becomes a part of you. But if it's just difficult and it's frustrating you, that's defeating the purpose of a game now. Now you're not having fun.
Yeah. Like even going back to games similar to the Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins, Castlevania series with the knockback. That's also another game that you had to dedicate. Like you jumped, that's it. You can't go back.
Especially the first three games. The first three games you had to do that. You were dedicated to whatever movement you were doing.
But I love finding like just hitting walls and finding like
turkey leg. It saves you. It saves your health.
Yeah. But those games were difficult as well.
And back in the days, you can't. You can't even. You can't even climb stairs. You can't jump off the stairs. Like you have to. You're committed to go on the stairs. So if you started that climb, like finish that climb before you can jump. Thank goodness later games ended up fixing this because there was limitations of hardware at the time, but they were hard. These games were really hard.
Yeah. But those were like the early days. Do you remember any other like difficult games a little bit past the NES era?
So past the NES era, now jumping into games that do have a bit of a save state or password systems and things like that. A lot of the classic Mega Man games were something that were difficult. But that one, the main thing about the Mega Man games was the bosses. That was the top thing about it. Like the thing I loved about Mega Man, you get to at least select which one you want, and the difficulty can be less difficult if you figure out the weakness pattern of it. So you actually have an option. You could keep it as difficult as it is, or you could use the weaknesses and make it a little easier on yourself. But Mega Man X3, like the one I was just saying that I was playing on the plane, that was the biggest difficulty spike ever. Like normally the Mega Man X series is pretty not easy, but like Mega Man X1 is like a masterpiece. It had like a perfect little combination of like easier parts and difficult parts, but it was a fun game. Mega Man X1 is one you can jump in anytime, even newcomers. I would tell them to play that. Yeah. Don't jump into Mega Man X3. That game is hard. All the Mavericks are tough, and you kind of like, at least for me, I to go for the weaknesses. I can't take each one out with the Mega Buster. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
So I had to get like I had to figure out the weakness pattern for it, but that's like a difficulty curve that's insane. But I still have fun with it though. I still like playing it. It's not it's not difficult because it's hard to control like Ghosts and Goblins, and like those are harder to control. So I think that's what makes those games harder. Because I bet if the controls were a little bit better, it'd be a little easier than what it is. But Mega Man X3, it's like one of those where you know what? You've played Mega Man X1 and 2. Let's throw the kitchen sink at you. Let's make it harder. Let's make it a little bit more difficult.
I remember the Mega Man games that I had difficulty with when I was a kid was the Zero series. They were on the GBA. And I remember I had Mega Man Zero for Game Boy Advance, and those games were so brutal. It looking back, I don't know how. I mean, I had all the time in the world, so that's probably why. But
We did, man. We did.
I still don't know how 12, 13-year-old me was able to finish those games.
Mm.
I only had one. I only had the first one, so I beat that one. But even looking back, I'm like, damn. Like I remember seeing the end credits and and being so happy that I was able to beat it. And I think those are the toughest Mega Man games. I mean, they're now available. I think they have save states, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they
So
do.
it alleviates it a little bit just by having a checkpoint, but you
Mhm,
still have to beat the bosses. You still have to know the levels. So
mhm,
in that aspect, it just makes it a little bit more convenient to go back, but
mhm,
it doesn't help you at all with beating a boss. You still have to beat it. So
mhm. That's true. So you still have to fight the challenge. It's just a little easier that you can have a save state right before you die, like
yeah,
right before you can have it like right before the boss entrance. And you know what? That's a quality of life update that was added for. They were thinking. I mean, obviously, save states are now easier, cloud saving, more storage in devices. It upgraded with technology, but it was also thought with gamers in mind because they know the gamers who played this game were are in their 30s now. They know like
yeah.
30s or late 20s, so they know. So they're all like, you know what? We just got to make something easier because we know everyone's got lives now. Everyone's got different things going on. Um, so right now we can't spend sometimes like 10 straight on something specific unless there's like something that unless there's a big reward or it's a huge payoff or something like big happens for that payoff. Like no, just to like beat Castlevania and then that's it. Like, well, no, we got to add a way to make it a little easier because hey, we all got lives, man. We all have to do something.
Yeah.
Unless you're Twitch streaming. If you're Twitch streaming, then yes, of course you get you could get some income from Twitch streaming. So yeah, those people can spend the 8 hours. That's the job at the time. But no, as a dietitian and podcaster, I just make the best bet, make the best way I can. That's what I did.
Yeah. Um, any other ones that you can think of? Difficult games that are just still difficult but fun.
Wow. Okay. Difficult for fun. All right. I'm gonna put a proud moment here that I love. Okay. Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
That game was so notoriously hard.
Yeah.
They got a re-release. They got a re-release to add easier difficulties and to make it easier. Nah, I beat it in the original case. I had the original game when it first came out because I was a big Devil May Cry fan. So Devil May Cry 1, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
2, man.
The
We already said this.
Devil May Cry 2 is the greatest example of not knowing what to do with the sequel and just bumbling
Yes,
it.
they just like dropped the ball on that one. They took the camera way back from him for some reason. They had these far distances, and they had like an older, more mellowed out Dante. I was like, dude, he doesn't have to mellow out that much. Then 3 came out, and then Dante's like, whoa, like everyone like Dante's back, and then twin brother Virgil, and it was amazing just from the opening cutscene. But yeah, that was a hard Devil May Cry game, starting from the first boss on. So it got re-released, but I beat that game in its original status. So that was definitely that's an accomplishment I'm putting on there. Teenage Jesse, he beat Devil May Cry 3 before the re-release
Do
and
you know
easier.
why do you know why it was harder?
More specifically, it was the damage, the amount of damage that was dealt to you,
No,
and the
no,
amount of
no.
enemies that was
But
there.
do you know why it was difficult? Do you know why they did that? Do you know the story?
No, not well, not a full blown story. That's just from what I've heard before that they re-released it because it was too hard. In like some YouTube videos that I saw before, they just said that it was just so insanely difficult that there was backlash. That there was like
Well,
they were like talking about it. Do you know a story of it?
yeah. Well, from what I've heard, and anybody that our listeners can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I heard, the Japanese version released first,
Okay.
and the players were complaining that it was too easy. So when they finally
Ooh.
released it in North America, the normal difficulty was the hard difficulty in Japan.
Oh no, I did not know
So if you went to easy mode, then that was a normal mode in Japan.
that. Mm.
Normal mode here was the hard mode in Japan. And
Mm-hmm.
so I guess players, let's say like me, would have been playing on normal and said, "Hey man, this is too hard. What the hell?" They
Yeah.
re-released it where normal was the normal difficulty from the original release. This is from what I've
Okay.
heard.
Okay.
From when I was
No.
listening into like Devil May Cry and its existence, but um, yeah, apparently we got we got the hard mode from Japan as a normal mode.
Oh, there you go. They're all like, "Oh, you wanted more harder? Then here you go. Take it. This is normal." And then like you could see someone in the office saying like, "Hey, we forgot to switch it to normal." It's like, "No, no, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just keep it. Like just keep it that way. It's good."
Hmm.
Or maybe they forgot to change it. I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons
Which
why it didn't happen.
this is an
Mhm.
example of a publisher listening multiple times. They heard
Mhm.
the complaints and they're like, okay, we'll make it difficult then in
There you
North
go.
America, and then North American players are complaining and they're like, okay, we'll re-release it, and now you
Yep.
guys are fine.
And here's also the thing about games. So how you were talking about how it could have been like normal is actually hard Japanese version. You'd have to switch to easy to get normal.
Yeah.
I am usually not a person that switches to easy. I don't want to. I just don't. And the thing that I usually do not like is when easy mode is like thrusted on you when you die multiple times. That's in a lot of games. Oh, you died 10 times in a row. Do you want to add Sentinel armor, 50% less damage, and all that stuff? Or do you want to switch to easy mode? Maybe you should try another. Oh,
You want the you, you want the
I hate it when
Tanuki
they
suit.
thrust. Oh no!
You want the
Oh,
Tanuki suit.
that's the
It's
worst. The that is the worst invention ever. I hate that the super Tanuki seat that you get from dying multiple times, the super leaf or the super cat suits. Like, really? You're gonna throw away all the challenge. You're gonna throw everything away. Just you can still fall off pits, but like yeah, you still could, but really like super invulnerable and get rid of all the challenge like hand hold you through the whole thing like no
There's
look
actually
okay
there. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no I know but that just gets me like, that's like one of those things from Family Guy. You know what really grinds my gears like when they throw that in there and look okay I'm sorry for any one of our listeners. Okay, if you do use it, if you do have it, nothing against you.
Mhm.
Go right ahead. Do play the game how you want to play it. You paid $60, 70, whatever collector's edition price you paid for it. Do it how you want to do it. Me personally, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it thrown into me. It's like, oh, you're kind of not doing well. Here you go. And no, that's just not what I like. It's if you destroy the challenge of the game, then what fun is the game? What fun is it when they handhold you through something and anything in what you're doing? Isn't it more enjoyable when you get that satisfaction that you won? Like, if you know what, if you want to start off easy, start off easy. Like, pick easy mode from the get go,
Mhm.
but don't push it on me like right away. That's just my thinking on it. But I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure everyone has fun and everything goes great. But don't delete the challenge. Don't have the hand held on. Get dirty. Get powerful. Get stronger yourself. Be a more critical thinker. Put the challenge in there. There's my 2 cents on that. Because I know that happens in games all the time now.
There's there's something that I didn't even know about because I never changed it. Uh, but in Metal Gear Solid 5,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this until much later when I asked the question, but when you're having a difficult time and you choose to go easy and you play
Mm-hmm.
the easy mode, uh, the game gives you a chicken head, and that's how you can tell if someone's playing on easy, is that you have a chicken head.
Oh,
uh, and so
dude.
you can spot. So like, let's say if you were like, Twitch streaming, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing this,
Yep.
whatever, and then they see the chicken head. You're kind of like, yeah, but you're playing on easy. Like you can tell because the chicken head. I
Okay,
just
I
think that I
personally find
just think
that funny
that's
too. I think that's good. That's good.
I just think
I
that's just
like
the
it.
funniest thing. Like, imagine like more games did this. Like, hey, yeah, you can play this on easy mode, but you're gonna look ridiculous. You're gonna have like a
Hey,
clown costume or something. Like, that's kind of like,
there you go.
I don't know. Like, I can't believe Hideo did that, but I could also believe that at the same time.
Think that's genius. I like it. That's my competitive side coming out of again liking challenge and like, yeah, this player is using easy mode, chicken head. Or if we want to go to SpongeBob references, I'm gonna put a super weenie Hut Junior on top of you. Remember, it was like, how tough are you? Like, like where they had the challenges and they're like, oh no, I think you're over here. Yeah, juniors. And then afterwards, it's like, oh, no, 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 no. I wasn't pointing there. I was actually pointing over here. Super weenie juniors. Like, wow. Oh, man. That's also kind of, dang. I guess that's kind of hurtful for some kids as well. Because, again, like maybe they just want to finally get through the game. That's a slippery slope
Yeah,
to do that. That's a slippery slope of like, okay, now you're identifying people playing easy, and now they could get targeted because there are some jerks out there. I will say there are some that will, like I said earlier in the podcast, play the game how you want to play it. I will not. Um, I won't discredit you for playing on easy or whatever difficulty is good for you because you paid
yeah.
for your game. But uh, I think it's funny that they add the chicken head, and that's fine with me. But there's some
I
people
did
that will
too.
not be fine with that. I like it. I like it. I'm cool with it. But some other people are definitely not gonna like that. Or like I said, jerks out there, the cyberbullying and stuff like that. Please don't do that, guys. Please do not do that to your fellow gamers. Let them play how they want to play. If you like a challenge, you like a challenge. If someone wants to play it on whatever difficulty they're doing, don't berate them for whatever difficulty they're choosing to do. This is a community of gamers that need to stick together in however you play, whatever you represent, your art or your style, like whatever it is. It's you.
Yeah. Last
Chicken though. It's so funny. That was funny. It's so funny.
the last few games I just wanted to mention, games like Ikaruga, which is like
I've not played that.
it's really good. It's available, I think, everywhere but PlayStation.
Okay.
I think it's on PC, Switch, and
How
Xbox.
how old is that game?
I want to say 2001,
Oh dang, it's OG game.
2000. I want to say between 1999 through 2002. That's what I
Oh,
want to say.
nice. Oh, so it's it's like a
On
Raiden.
rails, yeah,
Yeah,
on rails,
Raiden. There you go.
bullet hell shooter, yeah.
Ooh.
But
Right now it's 50% off too.
it's
Oh
one of
dang.
those that and it has co-op, so two players can play, and it has like like light and dark,
Huh.
so you absorb light energy. Well, you absorb the same color that you are,
Uh-huh.
but you take double damage or almost instant death if you get
Mhm.
hit by the opposite color.
Ooh. Okay.
So if you're fighting a white enemy and you're on black, you
Mhm.
shoot him with black, you do double damage. But if you get hit, you also take double damage. If you're fighting a white enemy and you're white, then you do like normal damage or half. So it's kind of like a risk thing. Like, oh, do I just switch over and just
Mhm.
take out this boss faster, or do I play it safe and just stick to the same color? So,
Okay. Dude, I'm gonna buy it right now. It's five
dude,
bucks. It's on sale.
love the game, love the music. It's super like hard. I think I only got up to like the third level. Um,
Wow.
but
It's that difficult.
each level is like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it's pretty difficult, but love that one, and it's co-op. and
Well,
that used to be like a $90 game because it was on GameCube, and I think it may have been on Dreamcast. But I remember having it on GameCube. One of those stupid games that uh, you know got lost or whatever. And so when it got released on Xbox,
mm,
purchased it right away. When it got released on Switch, purchased it right away.
nice.
So that's it. That's a good one. And then F-Zero GX, which I've mentioned before in the podcast before. Super
Mm-hmm.
difficult racing game. You just need blistering like reaction time.
You are going fast in that game. You are going very, 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 very fast. This is not Mario Kart.
Yeah.
This is not Mario Kart at all.
And then Cuphead, which we've talked about before.
Yep.
Jesse, you got any other ones that you wanted to mention?
Yes. So, a first-person shooter that I'm playing right now called Blood. It's on PC, but it came out in the same era of like the Duke Nukem games. So it's part of like that same like realm of games. So that is one of the hardest first-person shooters that I've played, um, because of the like from the very beginning, early levels, you have the hit scanning enemies, which are if for anyone who doesn't know, a hit scan enemy is like when they look at you and they fire, that determines that you get hit. It's not like a projectile you actually see, like an imp fireball, but like when they fire bullets, it's called the hit scan. Oh my goodness, the hit scan was ridiculous on these guys, and I was dying over and over and over. And like I told you before, I usually start FPSs, first person shooters, on the more difficult versions, normal
Yeah.
or hard or ultra violent, like I said. So on this one, I had to lower it to the second easiest just to get a little bit better. I was like, okay, let me get a little bit better at this game, and then I'm going to try it again on the harder difficulty. So I actually had to like flip and lower it so I can actually advance. It was that difficult. And um and then I'm gonna throw in. I think we already talked about Super Meat Boy. No,
No.
remember we talked about. No, we
No.
did not. So that game, well, there's unlimited life, so you can die 10,000 times, but you can die 10,000 times and still like complete the level. So it's one of those like where you eventually will pass it, but it is hard. It is a platformer's dream. And one I wanted to throw out as well also was the Angry Video Game Nerd, the video game. But of course, that's intentionally hard because the Angry Video Game Nerd is always talking about bad games.
Yeah.
So it's intentionally hard, but I love that thing on my I love it on my PC, and I plug in my Xbox controller. I have a blast with it. So those are some difficult games that I've played, and I'm gonna save the final difficult game for the you know what's about to happen.
That you know it already too well. It is our last segment of the show,
Yeah.
the boss pick of the week. This week we got Jesse's pick. What do you got for us?
All right. So the final game that I wanted to just mention that was really difficult as a kid and still is kind of today compared to how they were released was the original Resident Evil series. So original number 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 got a little easier. They changed a lot of things. They added new mechanics, but the first one was rough. And it's rough because it's meant to scare you. It's hard. Limited ammo. You have these tank controls that it was purposely done. They purposely did this to make it more difficult to travel around and make your movements difficult while you're getting attacked by zombies or hunters or anything that have like that free roaming. And the bullets were very scarce, so if you choose to kill this guy, good luck. You might not have it for the next room that you might need it. It's hard. You have to pick. You have to pick and choose. Like maybe you're not wrong here by killing this zombie, but you're not gonna have it for next room, so that just makes it scary. It makes it scary, but hard. But in a good way, it was hard. So the boss pick that I wanted to pick was my first ever boss in Resident Evil, Jan the Snake. That was the first time. Have you experienced Jan before in the first Resident Evil?
I just didn't know that it had a name. I just remember it was like the anaconda. I just remember it as like the huge snake.
I thought of it in the very beginning when I first played it too. It was just a snake because they never called it by name. You had to read it from files to know
Yeah.
what the name was. So sometimes as a kid, I was just flipping through files like really fast. I didn't read it, but then later on, I ended up figuring out you had to read it to solve some of the puzzles.
Yeah.
Some of the puzzles are in the notes. But the thing that makes Jan is very memorable for being the first huge imposing enemy you face in Resident Evil. Because at that time you were fighting zombies, you were fighting dogs,
Crows.
Crows, but this is now a huge one that takes up the room, and this snake has a huge body. And remember how hard it is to move in those tank controls? Okay, now you have to maneuver. Oh, there you go. Exactly. If you're not watching, if you're not seeing, I'm looking at him. But he just did the tank controls right now, moving left, moving right, and forward and backwards. But now you're fighting a snake that has all this free movement. You can go all around you, and you're gonna get bit. You're gonna get bit. You're gonna get attacked. But for me, that was one of the scariest bosses as a kid. Jan always holds a place in my heart, like for being something that was very, very scary. And in these games, you're not ready for it. So remember all the ammo you used up to kill all the zombies and everything? Well, now you don't have enough to do this. Now you could walk in. You don't have to like kill him, because in the first battle he doesn't die. He gets away. He like when you shoot him enough times with a shotgun, he gets away. I've never tried to fight him with a knife. I don't know how many times it's going to take. I think he will not win. It's not going to happen. Handgun, I never tried with a handgun. I always had shotgun shells ready. But the first time I didn't have shotgun shells ready. What I had is what I had. So I had to like redo a whole file again to make it to that point. And after you battle him, you're going to get poisoned. You are going to get poisoned. And there's a whole cutscene with that. And if you play as Chris, you have to play as Rebecca to get the antidote for him. But Jill gets saved. Like, Jill just gets saved. If you want to play Resident Evil 1 in the hardest way, play Chris. Just play as Chris. He has more health than Jill, but you got to use the small keys to unlock boxes, when Jill normally has a lockpick. And he has less item spaces that does not expand. So you are just stuck with him, like with that. Play if you want to make Resident Evil 1. I really would like people to play it. I know people are going to play the remake, which it is 10,000 times better. The remake is 1,000,000 times better. But if you get the chance, oh man, play Resident Evil 1. It's so nostalgic. Even just watch it for the cheesy actors and like watch it for all the cheese that it is.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
And then the very beginning. What is it? Like,
who says it? It's like it's a monster.
Oh, it's no. Jill says that where it goes like, look at monster, and then Barry's like, I'll take care of this with his magnum.
Boom, boom,
boom. Actually, the biggest scare I've ever had in a horror game history as a kid too was the first time. Should I say it? Is it the game? Nah, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this. I'm pretty. Is it? Should I say it or not?
Wait, is it the zombie one?
No. It's okay. I'll just say it. Spoiler alert if you didn't see it. But like when you play the first Resident Evil, the first time the dog crashes in.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that freaked me out.
Dude, you don't know because the room is dead silent.
Yeah,
nothing. There's no clue. If you play the beginning of the game, well, first off, if you try to open the front door, like if you came in the way you came in, then you'll know the dog scene will happen.
Yeah.
So then you'll have an idea there's dogs outside. But no, you do not expect dogs to jump in through the window. Not at all. Nope.
Yeah.
Unless someone told you. Or you're reading a strategy guide. If you're reading a strategy guide, or if someone told you, then you'll know. But no, Jan, you fight him twice. You officially kill him the second time. That's the second time. The second time you fight him, it's in like an attic, like in the upper levels. First time it's in the second floor. Kill him the second time. Not a big backstory besides not compared to other bosses we talked about genetically using with the T virus. He just grew out of control, but. Man, that Snake Yon is that's a memorable boss for me, and that still counts as a boss. So that is my boss pick of the week. Talking about difficult games, difficult games, and then I'll probably. Oh man, I'm gonna keep going at Elden Ring. It's about to get hard again. Difficult games coming in.
Yeah, I'm probably like about 8 hours in, and I've taken down a couple bosses myself, and already memorable bosses with this game. But yeah, Elden Ring is all I'm playing. That's what I'm focused on. Uh, it's the best game I've played in years, in a long time.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now that's big. That's a big claim, man.
Hmm.
All right. Well, then that means I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna die a lot. But I'm gonna keep going. That's okay. You can die a lot, guys. Just it's like that Rocky quote. Doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up from the beatings. That's how you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And do not take that gold Tanuki suit. Don't take the shiny gold Tanuki suit. Oh my god, I can't believe I just bought Ikaruga on Steam. It was on sale, 50% off.
Oh,
So
nice.
I ended up getting it right now as we were talking.
Yeah, let me know how you like it, because
Will
it's one of
do.
my favorite games as well. It's just it
Yes.
being hard.
There you go. And I'll be able to plug in my Xbox controller on my PC. Let's do it.
All right, well, that's our show for this week, everyone. Thank you again for getting this far. Let us know on Twitter or on the comment section your most difficult games that you remember playing or even beating.
And
Um,
also, what do you think about challenging games? Do you like
yeah,
easy riders? Do you like more difficult? We will hear all opinions, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts, or no judgments on it. Just what do you guys think? How do you guys like to play your games? How do you enjoy your games? Hey man, you spent the money for it. How do you want to play?
yeah. So we'll see you guys on the next week's episode. And
Peace, everybody. Have a great afternoon, evening, or mornings, whatever time you're listening. Love y'all.
later, you guys. Thanks for joining us this week on the Boss Key Podcast with your hosts, McQuack306 and
WG. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at BossKey_podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you like, you can also follow us personally at McQuack306 and Jesse_Fregoso.
Join us next time for another episode of the Boss Key Podcast.
Ha ha ha!